All right, so there's a phenomenon in the world right now called gang stalking. Not trying to back up what this is or what it isn't. It's just pretty much a conspiracy theory. It's people that are having some type of ideation that people are following them. There are groups that are out there to get them, harm them, stuff like that. So being a conspiracy theorist, I've looked into this, and there's a lot of people asking me a question about, is gang stalking real? Does it actually exist? I really don't know. Not saying I've been a victim or not been a victim. But if you look up on the internet, there's a PDF. It's called a gang stalking PDF. So most of the time, in credible organizations, there's a PDF behind that. And with the PDF, you can find out all the information about that group, all the information about how they do what they do, why they do what they do, and pretty much their playbook. So when gang stalking, on the PDF, or what it's called gang stalking, that's what they call it, I don't know. But the number one technique that they use is called surveillance. So in surveillance, it says electronic surveillance, computer or phone hacking, monitoring all online activities of bugging. That's pretty much cyber stalking. So cyber stalking or trolling on the internet, stuff like that. Not really legal, but who knows. So the second technique is profiles are being built to identify any and all weaknesses and its insecurities to be used later. Information often obtained through sex partners or trusted people in their lives. People that know about you, people that know your faults, your habits, your everyday dealings, what you like, don't like, pretty much where you like to go, where you don't like to go. A profile is built on you. You know what I mean? So the third one is conditioning. Conditioning is where victims are sensitized to certain stimuli, such as everywhere you go, someone will cough as they walk past you. The goal is to make you self-police and then think anyone who coughs essentially is involved in harassment. People report of conditioning include hand gestures and overt use of color. People's clothing, like everyone you see is wearing red, or cars that go by of a certain color, or people are flashing their headlights, and that's known as brightening. So pretty much that's like everybody, somebody might walk past and say, well, your brother's name is John. And they say, well, I talked to my friend John today and everything's cool. And his sister Karen is doing such and such. Your sister's name's Karen too. So they want you to know that they know who you are. Okay, so after that, you have something called anchoring. And anchoring is where someone will provide false rationales for the harassment. Often, many possible rationales are planted to keep the victim confused and focus on the harassment cycles from possible reason to another, round and round, so they keep the victim guessing and self-perpetuating, guessing a game where they are, every scenario you are to blame, and because self-doubt, fear, intimidation, and also ultimately a cycle of destructive thoughts. So anchoring is pretty much make you doubt yourself. It's where that you're not really clinging on to one specific belief system. You just go all over the place. You're doubting yourself. You don't really know what's going on. And being anchored pretty much means you're set in a certain spot and you're firm. You're not anchored, you're not doing good. So the fifth thing is mobbing, or in parentheses it says, or true gang stalking. Now the word gang stalking could be surmised in many different ways, but I'm gonna call it gang stalking, so that's what they're saying on the internet. So that would be where everywhere you go, you will see an overt display of people following you and often using words you have been conditioned to, or your name drawn to your attention. That's self-explanatory. The next one is a real good one. The next one is street theater. So street theater is where, and I won't even read this one, street theater is normally where there's a scenario set up to where you're in a certain place and everything seems to be in like a play type mode, and everybody's doing things that is directed at you. It's basically something being played out. So basically I will read it. So street theater is where a group of people will perform an overt activity like a fake confrontation or scenarios designed to test your reaction. Often takes the form of a couple or position themselves near you, and then have a conversation using many of the conditioned words pertaining to your particular situations and sensitivities. So now I'm gonna get into the technical part of it, and then also the technological part of it. There's technology used in gang stalking. So one of the main technologies that's used in gang stalking that also mirrors voice-to-skull technology, which is a satellite that pretty much isolates sound in somebody's head and makes you think that you have telepathy. It's actually engineered telepathy, synthetic telepathy. So basically, what this thing is used is, it's called a directional speaker. So without reading, a directional speaker is something where the person might be 300 meters away. They have an instrument that can isolate sound into to one specific area where you're at. Say you're in a motel room, a directional speaker can be used 300 meters away, and they can have you thinking that somebody's above you, somebody's beside you, and that they're talking or banging on your walls, and you think that that person is near you or somewhere in your general vicinity. They're not. They're actually 300 meters away, a mile away maybe, but normally it's a few hundred meters or maybe like less than that. So directional speakers are the ability to direct sound in a single individual crowded room. The particular item is ultimately the most used and often referred to as voice-to-skull technology. Now, voice-to-skull technology was patented by the U.S. Air Force to get birds away from aircrafts. So basically, if there's a bird by aircraft and they're threatening the aircraft's descent or reaching altitude, voice-to-skull technology will scare those birds away. You know what I mean? So basically, it's synthetic telepathy, and the U.S. Air Force has patented this weapon. And also, it was used in the Gulf War to scare terrorists and make terrorists think that Allah was talking to them, and could have been used when the U.S. pulled tanks up to the border, and it pretty much was a tank war, and it ended because they end up coming to the border and giving their weapons up. I think voice-to-skull technology was used in that instance because synthetic telepathy makes you think that you're talking to a ghost, you're talking with a guy, this and third, but it's actually engineered telepathy. So pretty much I've explained a couple of techniques straight out of the gang stalking playbook. So the use of electronics to affect your eyesight and balance, which was originally developed for military and police crowd control, is called dazing, and even the ability to make you vomit. So let's read that one more time. The use of electronics to affect your eyesight and balance, which was originally developed for the military and police crowd control, called dazzling, even the ability to make you vomit. Pretty damn crazy. The next one is a real good one. It's called a sound campaign. So what a sound campaign is, right? Anytime you harass somebody, anytime you build a profile on somebody, you want to know what their triggers are, what makes them cry, what makes them laugh, what gets them excited, what scares them. So your trigger might be a car door slamming, dump truck pulling up, people yelling, firecrackers going off. Once they establish what your triggers are through noise campaigns, they will use this over and over again, slamming car doors, people reaching for something that might appear to be a weapon, anything that will trigger you. And normally it's a loud noise, slamming car doors, maybe like a firecracker going off. And say you've been in the military, that would be pretty distressing because you're hypersensitive to sound. So that would scare you. So noise campaigns. Sound campaigns is a community harassment technique where abnormal levels of sound are directed at the victim and their home. This includes car doors liberty breaking, accelerating when they pass, people taking excessively loudly at all hours of the night, amplification of sound using directional speakers, which we talked about. Directional speakers is isolating noise, basically what it is. And so that external sounds that previously could be heard now can, like garbage trucks and other heavy vehicles and countless other delivery tactics. Sleep deprivation, that's self-explanatory. Anytime somebody's been up doing methamphetamine, drugs, working hard, sleep deprivation is something that the military uses to train you to, you want to perform better under sleep deprivation if you're in the military or something like that. But if you're not, a regular citizen under sleep deprivation is not going to live their life half as good as they would not normally if they weren't under sleep deprivation. So gang stalkers and also these people that do these type of things know that the mission that they're trying to accomplish will be better if the person is under sleep deprivation. So those are some of the few gang stalking techniques. Now, gang stalking, as far as I'm concerned, is a conspiracy theory. So I'm not speaking this as its absolute truth. But there is a PDF on the internet, and also everything I've talked about is on the internet and accessible to anyone. So this is not necessarily to shed new light on anything. This is just shed light on things that are on the internet and accessible to anybody. So if you're interested in these type of subjects, go on the internet and pull it up. This is Fred Hand signing off. All right, thank you.